I killed 25 ARC Turbines, and most players are making this fight way harder than it needs to be. I'll show you how to kill it with Jupiter from outside its lightning range, how barricades can block the lightning attack better than buildings, the soft spot you can shoot while it's flying, how mines and warning lights work, which tools help you walk up safely, and which of the 3 deadline methods can delete a full HP turbine. The turbine is dangerous because its lightning attack can two-shot you, curve around corners, fly into buildings, and punish you even when you think you're safe. It has exactly 4000 HP, but the real problem is not the health. The real problem is that the turbine is covered in heavy armor plates, constantly moves, spins while flying, and forces you to fight inside lightning attack range if you use the wrong method. Let's start with the safest and most consistent method I tested. Jupiter from 150 to 200 meters away. If you are farther than 200 meters, Jupiter damage starts dropping off too much. But if you are closer than around 150 meters, you are inside the turbine's lightning range. So the sweet spot is around 150 to 200 meters. Pin the turbine, check the distance, stay at range and shoot it with a Jupiter. In my testing, it takes roughly 40 Jupiter shots to kill a full HP turbine, which is less than 2 stacks of energy ammo. That is why Jupiter is so strong here. The turbine is covered in heavy armor plates and most weapons have to break those plates before they start doing real damage. Jupiter is different because it pierces armor, so instead of wasting ammo breaking random armor plates on a spinning flying target, Jupiter lets you keep doing damage from a safe distance. That is why, if you have Jupiter, I would not overcomplicate this fight. Stay 150 to 200 meters away, keep shooting, don't let the turbine pull you into its game. If you need to get closer, bring a barricade. The barricade is actually better than a lot of natural cover against the turbine. Normal walls and buildings can be unreliable because the lightning attack can curve around corners or fly through openings. But with a barricade, the turbine's targeting often sends the lightning straight into the barricade instead. The trick is to peek very tightly. Do not stand fully exposed, keep most of your body behind the barricade, peek just enough to shoot, and then duck back behind it when the turbine attacks. The barricade can absorb multiple turbine attacks before breaking, and most of the time you do not even need to let it break. Once the turbine moves out of range, pick the barricade back up, move closer, and place it again. When you place it again, it comes back at full HP. You can also use barricades to advance towards the turbine when you want to get close for weak spots or deadlines. You can combine this with the Photoelectric Cloak or just run forward, stop, place a barricade, and wait until the turbine's warning lights turn blue again. Normally it takes around 10 seconds for the lights to go from yellow to back to blue. Once the lights are blue, you can move again. But do not place the barricade right in front of the turbine. If you get too close, the trick stops working. The turbine turns red and it flies away. So for me, the barricade is not just for cover, it is a repositioning tool. It lets you safely move closer, reset aggro, and survive the lightning attack when natural cover will fail. Now, if you do not have Jupiter, the fight becomes much more annoying. The reason normal guns feel bad against the turbine is simple. The turbine spins while flying, so even if you are shooting accurately, you are often hitting different armor plates every few seconds. That means you are spreading damage across the armor instead of breaking one plate quickly, and until the armor breaks, most of your damage gets absorbed. Energy weapons and heavy ammo weapons can still do the job because they are better at breaking armor plates, but you will usually spend a lot more ammo than with Jupiter. There are some soft parts you can shoot while the turbine is flying. The turbine has 4 small top fins, and in my testing, those fins take normal soft damage. For example, one Osprey shot did 45 damage to the fin and gave me 90 XP for arc damage. You also get extra damage when you break those fins off. This is why, if you are using a Hullcracker while the turbine is flying, I will aim at the top section rather than the middle of the body. In my testing, a Hullcracker shot to the top area averages around 95 damage and still help damage the armor plates. but a Hullcracker shot in the middle of the turbine body while armor was still intact normally did only around 7 damage. So if you are shooting the flying turbine with Hullcracker, do not just shoot center mass, aim high. Wolfpacks are also not as good against the turbine as people might expect, because the turbine is almost completely covered in armor. The explosive damage from Wolfpacks is not great. Realistically, you need around 9 to 10 Wolfpacks to kill a full HP turbine, and because Wolfpacks only have around 100 meters of range, you have to move inside their turbine's lightning range to use them. That makes Wolfpacks risky and inefficient as your main kill method. The only situation where Wolfpacks are somewhat decent is when the turbine is already almost dead, has lost several armor plates, and you just want to finish it off quickly. But as a full kill method, I would not recommend relying on Wolfpacks. The best non-Jupiter damage window happens when the turbine lands. When it lands, it exposes the rotating power cells underneath. Those power cells takes plus 50% damage, and they are by far the best normal weak spots to shoot. With Hullcracker, I was average around 140 damage per shot when shooting the exposed power cells. The problem is that the window is short. Most of the time you only get around 1 magazine into the weak spot before the turbine covers the power cells with its landing glass and flies away again. That means if you are trying to kill it with Hullcracker only, you may need to let it land and fly away multiple times. In my testing, it could take around 6 landing cycles to kill it this way. So yes, shooting that power cell works, but it's slower, riskier and more annoying than just using Jupiter from range. Now let's talk about the landing behavior in mines. The turbine will usually land if you stop shooting it and let it lose aggro. Before it lands, it throws these carrot-shaped mines around itself. To reach the turbine safely, you need to clear a path through those mines. The mines have light indicators. Blue means safe, yellow means they are detecting you, red means they are about to explode. If a mine turns yellow, stop moving forward or back away until it goes blue again. You can also shoot the mines to clear a path, but don't panic and shoot everything too quickly. The turbine also has light indicators on its legs. Blue means it's calm, yellow means it's becoming alert, red means it's about to fly away. So if you are clearing mines and the turbine turns yellow, stop shooting. Get behind cover and wait it for to calm down. Once the lights go blue again, keep clearing your path. This is important if you want to use deadlines. Deadlines can kill turbines, but I need to be honest, this method is more annoying than YouTube shorts make it look. There are 3 main deadline methods. The first is the flashy method. You snap hook on top of the turbine and place 2 deadlines there. Each deadline does around 1700 damage in my testing, so 2 deadlines on top will do big damage, but it will not kill a full HP turbine. And once the turbine stands flying away, you start taking burn damage while standing on top of it. Then you have to jump off and survive. Yes, you might have seen clips of players jumping off, landing on crash mats or grabbing a ledge, but in real gameplay this is much harder than it looks, and even if you survive the jump, now you are below an angry turbine that wants to fry you with lightning. So this method is cool, but I do not think it's the most practical. The second deadline method is safer. You run up to the landed turbine and place 2 deadlines on its core or body. This does less damage than the top method, but it's more consistent. It also gives you more time to run away before the turbine flies off. If you just want a safer deadline setup, this is the version I would use. The third method is the highest damage deadline method I tested. The key is placing 1 deadline on a rotating power cell. That 1 deadline can do around 2100 to 2900 damage. The second deadline can go on the main body or core, but I need to point out something important. Even if you land the power cell deadline, the second deadline on the main body does not always give enough damage to kill a full turbine. Sometimes the deadlines do more damage and it's enough. Sometimes the turbine survives. The problem is placement. To get the first deadline onto the rotating power cell, I had to jump and start placing the deadline mid-jump. When it works, the damage is huge, but it is not easy. It takes practice, and for me it did not work every time, so this is the highest damage deadline method, but also the most inconsistent. And this is why I still prefer Jupiter. The turbine usually shows up late in the raid, often around 17 to 12 minutes left in my testing. When you shoot it, it tends to fly towards the edge of the map, so if you want to use deadlines, you must wait for it to land. Clear mines, sneak close, place deadlines, survive the takeoff, and then still extract. If you die even with survival, you're often crawling on the edge of the map, far away from extraction with less than 10 minutes left. That is a horrible situation, and another thing kept happening in my test. I would carefully walk, start clearing mines, get ready to place deadlines, and then some other player will shoot the turbine. The turbine would instantly fly away, and suddenly I'm standing almost underneath it with no safe setup and lightning coming at me. This is why I think deadlines are good for clips, but Jupiter is better for actually farming. If you want to kill turbine consistently, I would rather spend 15 minutes getting back into friendly lobbies than fighting turbines in aggressive PvP lobbies and risk losing everything. For spawns, this still needs more testing, but night and hurricane conditions seem much better. For my runs, I would guess around 3 out of 4 raids had a turbine spawn. During day raids, it felt close to 1 out of 4, maybe 25 to 30%. I would not call those final numbers yet because the sample size is not huge, but if I was especially hunting turbines, I would prioritize night or hurricane raids. Also, if you only need turbine compressor materials, you do not need to kill the turbine at all. You can sometimes get turbine compressors from ARC couriers, which are much easier to find than fighting the turbine itself. So if your goal is just crafting materials, check couriers too. But if your goal is to actually kill ARC turbines, here's my final ranking. If you have Jupiter, stay 150 to 200 meters away and shoot it from range. That is the safest and most consistent method I tested. If you do not have a Jupiter, wait for it to land and shoot the rotating power cell, aim at the landed power cells, or aim high at the top section while it's flying. Do not waste shots into the armored middle of the body. If you are using Wolfpacks, do not expect them to be efficient against full armor. Use them mainly as a finisher when the turbine is already damaged and has lost armor plates. If you want to use deadline, the power cell jump placement can do huge damage, but it is risky and inconsistent, and 2 deadlines are not always enough if the second one goes on the body. But if your goal is to kill ARC turbines consistently, my answer is simple. Bring Jupiter, stay at range, use barricades if you need to move closer.